Everyone within a mile radius can hear the work that the band puts in 5 days a week during the football season, but not even they know the extra hours it takes to make the sonic boom, boom. And hey, I cannot emphasize enough how nice it is to not be blinded by the sun. I'll show you really quick. This is the setting I normally have the camera on this time of night. Right. So you can really see that there, and I'm sure these two teams will feel that here tonight as well. I got in under that, and they thought it was awesome coming out here with the camera because, hey, they're going to be on Judge Judy next week. That's what they were telling me. So they were all about the camera being here, and I know I'm not talking about baseball, and that's because, well, there's no baseball to be played, so this is what we have to talk about. And then moving over to Ole Miss's side, Lane Kiffin has been doing a ton of movement in that quarterback room. What do you think of that strategy, just taking as many as you can get?
I don't think it makes any sense.
Brand new this season, Coach Davis and his staff has instituted a new mini camp where the players run through multiple drills as part of their 2-day football binge sessions. Yeah, that's right, Joe. And you said the GOAT, and that press room definitely reflected it. It was really hard to get a question in. It was packed there. But Saban did take some time to answer a question about defecting defensive coordinator Pete Golding. Right, and it's impossible to replace the legendary Scott Barry. Coach Oz knows that, but he also knows the winning foundation here at Southern Miss, and he intends to continue. I'm not going to lie, I hadn't decided yet on whether to go with the tie or not, and I obviously wasn't privy to that conversation between Leach and Commissioner Sankey. But after I saw those remarks, I thought it was the right way to go to honor the Pirate. The unofficial trophy between these two, I'm going to shut up for a second and back up so you can see. That's right, we got both sides, the dual helmet. Again, this was a prototype, hasn't been out in 7 years, making it very hard for people to get in here. I got stuck right over by the Fine Art Museum right there. You can't get through here. You can't get through this way. Only way you can get through is where this bus is coming on this one-way thing right there. Things were pristine back then, but hey, even on day one, they couldn't compare to what the Bulldogs were rocking. Jaden Crumity, he went all out. Big baby on the shoe tag.
Ready, go! Run your feet, run your feet, run your feet.
Hartfield Academy's hard-hitting linebacker Chris Jones experienced an impact Friday morning he says he's lucky to walk away from. Perfection. ×4.
If someone told you, yeah, you guys are going to go out there and throw 4 straight no-hitters back to back to back to back, what would you say?
I'd have called him a liar.
Yazoo City 4A state champions aren't celebrating on the couch. They're on the court, preparing to do something no Mississippi team has done before.
When we at practice, we in the weight room. We in the weight room, we lifting. When we not in the weight room, we out here on the field going against each other.
When they were in the biggest moments, that's when they look the most relaxed.
I'd rather go by Kenny, KG, Kenny G, Kenneth Gainwell. Hey, anything, man.
Not all off seasons are created equal.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. It's no secret that D1 football teams work hard on the practice field. Well, I'm here to show you how an entirely different type of team who share the same field also share the same brutal preparation expectations.
What makes something a sport?
It's really physically demanding on the students.
You have to stay in shape. A lot of cardio, a lot of really taking care of yourself.
Down! Whoa!
We gotta grind, really gotta work hard, gotta make sacrifices.
Sir!
We are the sonic boom of the South.
My high school, we play a lot of Jackson State songs. They told me to listen to Jackson State playing it, so I went on YouTube and searched up the band, and I was like, wow.
Sonic boom.
Everyone within a mile radius can hear the work that the band puts in 5 days a week during the football season, but not even they know the extra hours it takes to make the sonic boom, boom.
Y'all typically practice for like 5 hours a day?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Ooh, it's a lot of work. Like, I have a total of 12 classes this semester. I have 6 classes on Wednesdays, 4 classes every other day. Sometimes you're not gonna be able to eat. Sometimes you're not gonna be able to stay hydrated. Sometimes you're not gonna wanna do the assignment that's due at 11:59 that night.
That's what it takes to look and sound this good.
You look at them in the band, like they real cool, so it's like, dang, like, I want to learn how to do that.
We look over there and the boom ain't there, that's worth at least 7 points for us.
All of that work, all of that time to prepare the student performers for the professional expectations. Sound familiar?
When people see the Sonic Boom of the South, quite naturally, and rightfully so, when they look at HBCU marching bands, they expect to be entertained.
Trying to battle with social media, because social media is real judgmental.
So people will sometimes come out and like tweet at the Sonic Boom and, some negative stuff.
All the time. Right now, this very moment.
The pain, the time, the scrutiny. It begs one question every athlete has to answer.
So why do you do it?
My constant hunger for wanting to be better at something is what drives me to keep doing this.
We want to be the best band overall. We don't want to just stricken ourselves. We want to be the best band ever.
Multitasking is like the biggest, hardest thing that people have struggled with. And in marching band, you're just doing all of that, and it looks beautiful while you're doing it.
If it's not at the same level as a student athlete, it's more.
They're not just a band. They're not just students. These are the student athletes of the Sonic Boom of the South.
Leilani Armenta caught a lot of strays when she kicked off for Jackson State. She sat down with me to talk about that experience.
There was a reason they asked me to do it. I honestly feel like no one's truly seen what I can do.
Before breaking the internet as the first woman to ever play for a D1 HBCU, Leilani Armenta has been kicking for almost as long as she could walk.
I started soccer when I was 5. So, I mean, this has been a life goal of mine.
Her football story started her freshman year of high school with a coach who believed in her.
It's like, oh, you're interested in kicking? And I was like, well, I mean, I guess. And he's like, okay, well, we'll see you tomorrow.
Her freshman year of college, it was the same story and a different coach.
TC Taylor was very, very supportive.
Armenta earned Taylor's support. She made 98 out of 105 extra points in her high school career. And yes, she did the other thing too.
You did do kickoffs in high school.
I did,
right?
and yes. And I had 2 touchbacks in high school. I didn't know what I was doing, yeah.
So you can?
Yes, I can kick long, yeah.
Armenta was a conference first-team kicker her junior season, beating out a player who went on to kick collegiately at the University of Berkeley. But on the soccer field before her senior year, she had an injury that almost derailed her in both her favorite sports.
And when I was there at the showcase, I ended up tearing my right ACL. And I felt like after that, like my world just kind of collapsed.
After a football season played on her torn ACL, Armenta gets her surgery. Back to no kicking and no walking.
In the back of my head was like, well, am I gonna be good enough? Am I gonna be the same player? When I was healed and got that final clearance from my surgeon, I was like, I've worked so hard to get back to where I was that I'm not gonna just throw the talent that I had away.
So just 9 months post-surgery, 9 months of no kicking. She did what every football player is expected to do when the team calls.
My back was against the wall.
She stepped up.
We were trying to pooch it. We were trying to have them fair catch it, or even our team grab it. I don't know if you saw how the ball bounced. We could have, we wanted to recover, but it didn't happen. But I feel like whether it would have been a touchback or not, whether it would have been to the 10-yard line, what if they would have returned it? Then what would people said? What if we would have recovered it? Like, it's always these what ifs, but I just feel like regardless of the type of kick I did, the media was gonna be on me because of being a female and first time at an HBCU.
And social media did pile on Armenta, despite her one pooch kick before being pulled for leg soreness being the longest for Jackson State in the game.
And I read them, I personally, if they want to go out and do it, they can go do it. I've worked very hard. For me, like, the motivation is 9 months ago, I wasn't walking. Like, it doesn't really faze me. And if it really was that easy, or if it wasn't a great kick, like, by all means, go and do it. Like, there's a reason that I got called. There's a reason that I'm practicing.
With all the hate and all the judgment, Armenta keeps going, keeps rehabbing, and her goal is to return to the football field to show what she can do. Because at the end of the day, the inspiration outweighs the hate.
Like, is Leilani here today? And she's like, yeah, she's kicking. And the girl started crying. And I remember I was like, wow, like this one girl, she was so like touched by me. And like, she wants to kick now. Like her dad is helping her. And it's just like, I'd rather take all the hate just for one, person to feel like, wow, she really made a difference.
And Armenta says she made 12 out of 12 extra point attempts earlier this week in practice and is really starting to get back into it. Yeah, and we had to do this one, Joe. It all starts with our highly anticipated game of the week, Brandon versus Madison Central. You know what that means. Rematch 2021 state championship, baby. Let's get into it. Brandon, they would get the upper hand early. They got an early pick, but a block in the back pushes Brandon back, and then they give the ball right back. Landon Barnes never sees Madison Central's Ryan McCall, and he makes him pay just like that. And the Jags are back in Brandon territory. Madison doesn't squander it this time. Jamison Mosley takes the end around and ends up around the end zone. Jags draw first blood. They lead 7-0. But hey, just leave it to Blitz 16. Player of the Year, Nate Blunt, the ULM commit, is a big man, but he can move. The stiff arm to top it off. It's a tie ball game. But hey, one possession later, Madison Central, another tutty. Glenn Singleton runs it in. The Jags lead by 6 after a blocked PAT. Now listen, after last season, I know a lot of Ole Miss fans were just waiting for the ball to drop on this year, and Texas A&M, it really felt like a strong trap game today. But lucky for you, Ole Miss's offense is strong as well. Trey Harris with an outstanding TD catch, and it's a 14-point lead early. But oh boy, this next one stings. The field goal would build a 17-0 lead for Ole Miss. Instead, Texas A&M gets the block and takes it 70 yards back for the Aggie score. A 10-point swing, and it's a one-score game. Even so, Ole Miss still had a 7-point lead in the third, and Trey Harris does this. Last week it was Dayton Wade. This time it's the Trey Harris show. It's a 10-point lead into the fourth, but the Aggies cut it to 3 late, and with 4:30 left in the game, Texas A&M comes back to take its first lead. Ole Miss led double digits most of this one, but are now backed against the wall. You know who to call. Quinn-Sean Judkins' third touchdown of the day with 1:40 left puts Ole Miss back up. Texas A&M uses its remaining time well, though, and gets into field goal range with a 47-yarder. It's short. Everybody breathe. Ole Miss holds on 38-35. Both the Jackson State men and women's basketball teams were home tonight for the second time in 3 days. Think it was a holiday or something. Both hosted Alabama A&M. The JSU football team showed out tonight. Savion Wilkerson and Delaware State transfer Isaias Guthrie, along with Oregon transfer Seven McGee, among others in the crowd. Let's start with the men, and the nightcapper Ken Evans Jr. dishes it to Zeke Cook down low, hop step pump fake, and good. JSU jumps out to an 8-2 lead. Next possession, JSU catches the Bulldogs napping. Jamarcus Jones skies for the easy finish. And how about Evans Jr.? Dwayne Wade would be proud, ghosted him, and scores for the Tigers, and JSU holds on to win its second straight, 72-60.